You know what else is cool?
Final Verdict.
Yeah, you're right. We got to talk about our podcast. Final Verdict. I'm Bell.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Plouffe.
And this is the podcast.
That needs no introduction.
None.
I don't know.
I was going to leave dead silence just to say that, but I actually think it makes more sense if we say it aloud.
Okay.
Need some introduction.
Sure.
And this week, we're talking about a Canadian. It's about dang time, unless we've talked about a Canadian. Chuck Mangione, I guess, technically.
Rush.
Yeah, right. We talked about Rush.
Rush.
Well, that wasn't a full episode.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
And Chuck Mangione's not really a Canadian. We just love him.
Yeah.
So our first
I like
Canadian,
Chuck Mangione.
Begonia. Sorry for the dramatic pause. I got a little brain fog. I might edit some stuff out
She's
or whatever.
from Winnipeg.
Yeah, she's from Winnipeg.
That's cool. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, now you do.
Wow.
Let me introduce you. Let me paint a picture. First of all, let me start with a question. What do you get if you cross Adele and Amy Winehouse?
Okay. Sure.
Begonia. Alexa Dirks, or Begonia, is an indie alt-pop artist from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And she's been blowing up the Canadian music scene, which, I mean, doesn't say much, which is probably why you've never heard of her, because the Canadian music scene is pretty small.
She was
We got Drake
nominated.
in the weekend.
Tight knit though. Tight knit.
Yeah.
Alanis Morissette.
And that was like 30 years ago. So
You want to know?
she's a pretty...
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good song.
Thank you.
We'll do that. We'll do that album.
Let's talk.
Actually.
Sure.
I'm not choosing it, but one of you is gonna have to
I'm
choose
not
it.
wasting my pick.
Wow.
Ooh. Sorry,
Wasted
Jamie.
on the last. We'll have her on as a guest. Miss Morissette, if you're out there, please call me.
Yeah. She
yeah.
was nominated for a Polaris Prize, this Begonia lady.
You know what else she was nominated for?
A Juno Award.
Well, I'm the intro here, all right? I'm going to say. So her first EP released back in 2017, which won some awards and, had some number one songs in the Canadian music charts. But her first album, Fear, which we're checking out today, released just before the pandemic in September of 2019. That's true. So she doesn't have a ton of music. And I've actually seen her live, which is how I discovered her. She opened for Serena Ryder right after her first EP came out, which, I don't know, was probably 2018, maybe 2017. But my mind was blown. Like, Serena Ryder was good. I'm not a huge fan. I just went because Cranbrook doesn't get any concerts. But Begonia comes out, just her and a dude with like a MIDI drum pad, and that's it. And she rocked the entire theater. It was nuts. She has some absolute power, and she easily has been added to my see every concert. And because of that, I actually saw her earlier this year. She opened for Shaky Graves.
Oh.
I'd never listened to Shaky Graves. I went for Begonia. I paid for an expensive ticket
Dang.
to see Begonia because, man, she kills it. But yeah, so for her first album and with Fear, it's pretty decently received. Like, it won a Juno, and it was nominated for, it ended up on NPR's list of 10 artists you should know, and Begonia was on there for this album. I've never really heard her on the radio or anything like that. I don't know if anybody listens
I
to
don't
her,
really listen
She gets
on the
played
radio.
on CBC, the like Radio 1 or 2 or whatever.
which is the Canadian equivalent of NPR.
Is it?
Sort of. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
any
it's like the
American radio
BBC.
stations.
You know how they legally have to be coast to coast.
Really?
The CBC legally has to be everywhere.
Space Ghost?
Space Coast. Yeah.
Coast to coast?
Coast to
Space
coast.
Wave?
Space Wave. Space Wave. Can't go an episode without talking about that.
No, that's what an album.
What
It's
an
now
album.
just Space Wave. But this album itself, I'm not going to speak too much about Begonia because she's very small. I can't really find a ton of information about her.
Fair
But the album itself, Fear, is described by Begonia as a deeply personal album bursting with ruminations and solitude, self-doubt, anxiety, and panic, all bundled up in that serene feeling that comes with an artist fully embracing their past and present self. And I feel like that comes through in the lyrics. Like, there's a lot that if you just read the lyrics, you think this is a very slow, sad album. But it instead translates to power, anger, and kind of snappy beats that put you in the shoes of this messiness of relationships and, being, that person transitioning from a young adult to full adulthood. And I thought it was pretty interesting. What did you guys kind of think right off the bat?
She's got a big voice. I appreciated that. I've listened to the album a couple times. I have some thoughts on it, but let's flip over to Dr. Plouffe
Wow,
over here.
He's got a
Fast.
smirk on his face, and I'm
That's
nervous.
crazy. No, I think it's decent. I don't like a large chunk of the album, but the songs I really like. I listened to it a couple times as well, and I think it stems mostly from me. I'm just not super into big solo artists a lot of the time. I prefer even you originally, people don't know this, but you chose Amy Winehouse for originally.
Yeah, our first episode was going to be Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, and I listened to that a bunch, and it kind of grew on me. But I think part of what it was the band and the production behind it Whereas my only problem, like, she has an amazing voice, absolutely.
Yeah.
But my only problem is a lot of the tracks to me end up feeling either too produced or like hollow, like they're missing that like kind of band presence, even though it's not like they're underlayered or anything like that. But then the tracks that I like that feels more raw, I really like. So I'm like, I don't know, I flip flop. It was either all her slower stuff where she's just like singing in a room and there's like, you know, some light background music or whatever. I'm like, not for me. But then any of the like heavier tracks I really dug. So
Yeah,
it's a very digital album.
Yeah.
Like it there's no point where you're like this. Well, there's one song where it feels like it's just her and a guitar.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's like digital surrounding you. Everything is pretty perfect, like drum machine, everything like that.
It's definitely a headphones album.
Oh yeah, it sounded great on my headphones.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised. I was not surprised when you said that when you saw her live, it was just her and like a dude with a mini drum.
Yeah.
Because that's like exactly what I was picturing, was like her and a producer basically in a room, and she's just, you know, singing into a mic and he's like throwing stuff at her
Right.
to see what she can do.
Yeah, I liked it. I like it with headphones. I like it. Like I sat on my couch for this one and like put it on my Sonos and had the surround and everything. And I was like, this sounds great being like enveloped in this noise. I wouldn't like put it on to drive. I don't think it's really great background music either because it does grab a lot of attention. But like if you are sitting to listen to this album, I really enjoy it.
I listened to it while we were doing floors last week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I had my little earbuddies in.
Very peaceful with that loud machinery.
Yeah, well, I had like the
Oh, on top.
Yeah, I had the what's the word?
Earmuffs?
Earmuffs, ear protection. I had the ear protection on, and then I had my earbuddies in.
Tweet at us. What is that word we're thinking of?
What is the word we're thinking of? PPE. I was wearing some PPE.
Oh yeah.
PPE.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I listened to that while I was not relaxed, and I felt it was. I thought it was a different experience because I listened to it on my couch as well, and then we listened to this at my house once.
Yes.
And it didn't play because
Whoa, no spoilers. No spoilers here. This is my story to tell.
yeah, there was something wrong with it though, right?
We'll find out during the final verdict when we talk about the record.
Well,
okay.
should we listen to it now and see if there's still something wrong with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like the pain, and I've seen the light, but it doesn't mean that much. I can't fall asleep. I'm feeling never getting it together. Fear of being lazy, fear of the mess in my kitchen, fear of going crazy. You said that no one could hurt you, but I do it all the time. You're gonna hurt yourself. It's not your birthday, baby.
What an album. I'm saying it this time because I freaking love this album.
Space Wave.
I absolutely love this album. What an album. It starts off with The Other Side, which is...
Not from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No, oh, that's a good song. I totally forgot because this one takes over that song for me.
Really?
Really?
No, I just don't listen to that song in the last, haven't the last 6 years.
Sure.
But I really like it as an introduction to the album because it's like moody. It shows
it.
off the range.
Yeah.
It's mostly slow, but it goes up high and then back down. And the chorus that comes in around like a minute 45, I'm like, this is orchestral.
I thought it has a false ending at near the end too, which threw me for a loop. I was like, oh, did we already go into a different song to just segue right into it? Nope. Back at it with The Other Side.
Plouffe, you got something to say? You're just staring at Jamie. You didn't like that joke?
No, it was a funny joke. Yeah, I thought she definitely has like a pretty voice, and like you said, it really does show her range in the first track. I didn't feel super engaged with it though, but like I said, it was the slower songs, and this is one of the kind of slower ones. It does it speeds up a little bit, but it's pretty slow overall. So I'm not crazy about it, but
luckily it changes up into a faster paced song immediately. But it's interesting. I really like the transition into the fasterness with like the egg shaker to kind of set the beat. Because usually, like, I mean, in Radiohead, I said it so many times where I'm like, oh, that was so jarring to go from something slow to fast to slow or whatever. But I kind of liked this way of transitioning into something quite a bit faster with the tasteful egg shaker. But I mean, the lyrics don't really do much for me in this one. It's just kind of like a traditional, man, relationships can be hard. And I'm like, yeah, I guess.
you can feel like you're hanging on a line.
Yeah, but I still like it because the chorus is catchy.
Yeah, the chorus is really catchy. I I actually like this one, but my one problem is that I felt like the drums or something sounded like an Imagine Dragons song.
Oh God!
And so that kind of threw me for a
That's
loop
not
at
a
first.
That's not a compliment. No.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But I did like the rest of the song. It's just something about the percussion at the start. I was like, what the hell am I listening to?
Yeah, her like falsetto or whatever the high singing is. It's just so solid.
Oh, she's good. Yeah,
So solid.
She's a wicked singer.
And you get to really see that in The Light, which is my favorite song on the album.
Yeah.
And it is just like the droning start to jazzy drums and synth, and it's just it puts you in a trance, as you know I love. And it puts me in just a zone with the horns and the powerful vocals that just surround you. And again, that digitalness, I think, really enhances this.
Yeah.
Because it makes it a little bit dreamlike. And when I was listening to my Sonos, it was just like, again, surrounding you in this like bubble of droning synths. And I was like, oh man, I'm into this.
Could you say she was a mix of Amy Winehouse and Adele?
Yeah.
So I agree with you entirely. I even wrote for The Light. It kind of reminds me of Amy Winehouse. And this is one of those tracks that I thought it would fit really nicely in a movie. I feel like there's always
Sure.
one from every album that I'm like, yeah, this will go really
Like
nicely.
I've said it a couple of times. She has a big voice.
Yeah.
And she fills up a lot of the songs with a big voice.
Yeah, the bridge on this one where she's like yelling out,
Yeah.
and very pained. The lyrics hit a bit better for me. It's like trying to be nice, but not so nice that you're taken advantage of, and you want to be everything for everyone, but you can't. And you're just struggling to deal with the fact that you can't do it all and staying in something familiar when it doesn't feel right. It just kind of all came together on this one for me that I'm like, yeah, I wish I could sing so I could go along with that powerful chorus and bridge, but I do not have a big voice like that.
Well, you have a deep voice though.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can fill a low
Drop
one.
that a few octaves and I'll be there.
I really liked Fear.
I didn't like Fear.
Really?
No.
This is easily my favorite
It's
track
good.
on the album by like a
It
long
kills
shot.
live. Oh,
I can imagine.
my God. It's
No.
way better.
I can imagine. This is where I kind of realized that like I really like her voice and stuff. I would just love to see her with a band.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's it. I would just love to see her with like a group of people so that they could all feed off each other's energy.
And she does that with this album. So when I saw her with
Okay.
Shaky Grave, she actually had a full band.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
And yeah, this song, it makes me feel anxious because it starts
Oh,
a little
yeah.
slower and then it gets faster and
It's
faster, and the
good.
lyrics get faster and
Yep.
faster. She's talking about what she's afraid of.
I like how spooky the whole thing
It's
kinda
like
is.
I don't suffer any intense anxiety, but I feel what she's feeling in this,
Yeah.
especially with the yelling when she's talking about all these fears that are overwhelming her.
Yeah.
If this whole thing was an album, like if every track was more like Fear, I would buy this instantly.
Right.
And this
Ooh.
would be a very high rating for me, honestly.
Opposite for me. I didn't enjoy Fear as much as you guys did. I just found it kind of like when she's describing all the fears that she has. I found that part I didn't like. The rest of the song I don't mind, but just like the disjointed fears. Yeah. No, it wasn't
Oh,
for
I
me.
love that part. I love when
No.
she's just like listing shit. And then, oh man, yeah, it's just so fast paced.
Especially because it's like it's pretty relatable. It's like
Yeah.
I'm afraid of
Oh,
other
yeah.
people. I'm afraid of screaming loud. I'm afraid of wasting an hour and not getting things together. It's like, yeah, I get it.
It's-
I just don't get the same amount of anxiety about it, but like I can relate to it in the way that, yeah, I don't want to waste. I feel horrible wasting a day.
Yeah. The emotion seemed the most real on this one. Like on the other ones, I can tell she's being emotional and singing from the heart and all that. But this one, like, maybe it's just because I like punk so much. This one really felt
Fair.
like
Yeah.
like raw. And I would love to see her with like a punk band and just going ham like 24/7.
That is my biggest complaint now when I see concerts. So I saw Joji and I was like, this is really fun. But why does he write his songs the way he does when he sings it way lower?
Oh,
he
really?
never hits the high notes. He will
Maybe he
purposely
can't.
sing low.
Maybe
But then
he can't.
he releases new music and it's all high again.
What?
Like I'm going to see him live and it's going to be played low. But I see Begonia and she's hitting these raw screams harder live. I'm
Maybe
like,
she
how
can't.
does she do that?
Maybe,
Like,
maybe they can't, honestly. Like I haven't listened. I know Joji, but I haven't listened to any of his stuff. But I do know that a lot of people get a little overproduced, you know, and then they make sounds in the studio that they just can't make in real life. And so it's why you find a lot of bands to be not a lot. There's only the odd few, but every now and then you hit that show that's just not that
so
impressive.
props to
live, right?
artists that
Yeah,
write songs
crush it.
they can perform every single time.
Absolutely.
At least for now. Obviously, she is smaller, not going on huge tours all the time. But hopefully she can keep it up because wow.
Yeah.
Wowza.
Really liked Fear.
Then it goes into Everyday, which is an interlude at only a minute and a half.
Yeah, I liked it. I saw it was short and sweet. I like the backup singers. I like how her voice kind of goes in and out a bit from start to finish.
I like the intro, how it's like a voicemail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I like stuff
and then
like
it
that.
kind of eases into being the full produced in-person sound.
Yeah.
Lyrics are pretty, again, bog standard. Do you like me? Maybe, I mean, I like you. Maybe I'm overthinking it, and this is all my imagination. But for an interlude, I actually like it. Usually I just hate interludes. It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
But I still feel like this adds a lot. And again, the transition of it being like a voicemail makes it less jarring to go from that high energy, anxiety reducing thing to being like, oh, this is like a different time. It's a different mind space. It just is a nicer transition for me.
I think it helps that it's about a minute and a half, too. They didn't go too short or too long. I don't like when interludes are like 45 seconds or something. It's something completely different, and then it goes back into the album. It's like, why'd you even put that in there?
Or it's like on a rap album where they have a skit.
Yeah, I hate skits. Well, I
Fred
love
Durst.
it. I love and hate skits. Some of them are hilarious. But
There's so many.
not-
All the ones on
Yeah.
the Eminem albums.
Those are usually pretty good.
Even like
yeah.
College Dropout, it's like, just do Jesus Walks, all right? Do Through the Wire. And then it goes to Living at the Ceiling. I really like this one. This is my second favorite. Sometimes it passes the light on being my favorite. It's like one that I will be enhanced, put on loop,
It's
and just like
trippy.
again have it surround you.
Yep.
And so I'm going to mention in this episode, but I got a little roasted for something I said in the Radiohead.
Oh, you got
yeah.
roasted, eh?
What'd you say?
Who
I said-
who roasted you?
I'm not going to call them out. You know who you are because you're listening. I know for a fact you're listening.
Was it Sondergaard?
I'll never
It
say
was
it.
Sondergaard,
what was
wasn't it?
So I said in the Radiohead album, this song is long, and it was only like 4 minutes long.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not that long.
This song is, and a lot of these songs are 4.5,
Yep.
almost 5 minutes.
Yep.
They don't feel long.
No, I
This
wasn't.
song is almost 5 minutes long. It does not feel long, and I wish it was longer. I listened to it on loop. Like I really like even though it's very hypnotic and doesn't feel like it has a ton of lyrics, the changing melody and the pulsing of the synths and claps and stuff like that. It's so
Yeah.
engaging that I go, oh, it's over.
I do like the really trippy ending, but I did write that it goes on a little bit too long. Not like super long. I wasn't, complaining about like some 7 or 8 minute prog rock track or anything, but
He's gonna get hate mail now.
I did think it was a
Called
little,
the 4 minute song
a little touch long. No, it was like 5.5, wasn't it? This one?
no, it's only 4.5.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
But like the cut to the vocals, like just the vocals at 3 minutes,
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that trope. I don't know what you call it, but when it's just like everything's gone
Cuts
and it's
out.
just the vocalist singing, I go, oh, hell yeah. And then again, everything gets layered on and
Yeah.
on and on and then peaks and immediately winds down to the end of the song.
My one problem is that it's living at the ceiling,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know where the ceiling is because it has to be a place because it's at and not like on or in.
It'd be like your limit, right?
Oh, I guess. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Okay,
that's
fair.
What, that's,
You're
I
at
think
your
that's what it
ceiling.
means.
I had.
Yeah.
All right, I hadn't gotten that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
Or
like
you're
saying
literally
sky's
floating.
the limit.
Yeah.
Jamie, do you have any thoughts about this song?
I liked it. I thought it was fun. I like the next song a lot more than I like this
Mirror
one.
Talk.
Oh yeah, Mirror
Yeah.
Talk. I like
Tell
the
me about it.
lyrics.
No, 2 beers in. This is the next song.
Oh, I thought it did Mirror Talk
Mirror
first.
Talk.
No, oh,
Wow, you missed the song.
no, I didn't. Did I?
No.
No, you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the. Okay, so on Spotify, it plays.
I played it on Spotify.
I believe it puts. Oh, never mind.
I know it's
Wow.
Oh, sorry. Yes,
I'm looking at the album.
Genius.com just has the ordering
freaking
different.
genius.
Wow, thanks,
Um,
Genius.
Not so smart after all.
Yeah. It's my fault. I was trying to figure out where the split was. The split is after Mirror Talk.
It is.
Oh, okay.
I like Mirror Talk. It's again slower. I like the simple. This is the one I was mentioning, like the just her and a guitar. It's a fuzzy guitar riff, and then around the halfway mark, strings start to come in, but the vocals and the guitar riff stay the main focus of the entire thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's a nice end to the first side. It just kind of relaxes you back down.
It is a good way of like running it out. Like for example, if you didn't want to listen to side B, this would be a good
And it just ends with that little
just
guitar
nice.
riff.
Yeah,
It's just,
it's really nice. Yeah.
peaceful.
I think it sounds nice, and I like the lyrics. I didn't have a lot of notes. It didn't like really stand out too much
fine.
to me, but
Okay.
I think as a closer to side A, I think it's pretty strong.
Yeah.
But Jamie likes this next song.
2 beers in is great. I like the lyrics. It made me chuckle. No, I liked it. I don't. can't recall the instrumentation in any way in particular.
Because it wasn't crazy. Because it's not, you know.
It wasn't overdone.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought the lyrical content was most appealing to me of this one.
I liked 2 Beers In. I wrote that it's okay until a minute and a half where things pick up, and then I think it's really good. So I think the first half is okay, or the first quarter or third or whatever, but then I think it really picks up. She's got really impressive singing on it.
I agree.
But yeah, I definitely prefer like the second 2/3 or whatever.
I have that written down too. Not my favorite song opening, but not bad. I really like the vocalizing around 35 seconds, and then the tone change at a minute 30.
Yes.
And the sci-fi like instrumentation for the outro. It's another Will I Fall in Love song, but again, it clearly is the major fear that's addressed in the album, which is fair. But lyrically, it didn't hit for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
If I had to choose a least favorite song, this would probably be it. But
Really?
I still wouldn't skip it. It's just
Fair
like,
enough.
if I had to, this would be
forgettable.
it.
Sure.
Yeah.
It just kind of like you said, it is. But I do like a lot of it. But Beats. This is the most popular song on the
by
album.
a long shot.
It's almost triple the next
Wait,
one.
did you get Spotify?
Yeah, finally, because I needed royalty-free music for Keyboard Stream.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how I caved.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, Beats. So that's what I find so interesting. The popular songs, this, The Light, Living at the Ceiling is kind of an exception. The lyricism is drastically reduced. Like, it's way more basic. There's just choruses and like a couple verses.
Yep.
Versus even 2 Beers In, it's pretty much I'm pretty sure it's new lyrics the entire time. There's no chorus. The beat will be, but there's no lyrics that are repeated. Versus this one's very basic, but it's very catchy.
Yeah.
I believe this one was a single before this album, and it was just put on this album as well.
Yeah,
Like
I believe so.
it
It came
come
out pretty soon after the EP, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's an album seller.
Radio friendly.
Yeah,
It's
radio
very
friendly.
digestible.
I have a long paragraph for this one because
I'm excited.
It's very fun, and I can see why it's got the most plays. I like the breakdown about 2/3 through, and the lyrics are neat. The chorus is easy to sing to, and it's just over 3.5 minutes. But all that being said, something about it is kind of generic. Like it feels like a song that was produced to try to be a radio hit.
Yeah.
I also think it should have come after or before "Living on the Ceiling" or "At the Ceiling" or whatever. But that's a whole
Dancing
other,
on the Ceiling.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, that's my only problem with it. Is it feels too overproduced. It feels like they were trying to make a radio hit, and there's nothing wrong with that inherently. And I think that you kind of should probably have a song like that on every album to try to sell records. But I don't know, something about it. It just like, I can see why it's popular.
Yeah, I put very basic.
Yeah,
Pretty darn
basic
good,
is a
and it
way to
shows,
put it.
again, the range of her vocals.
Yeah.
I actually liked the placement because I feel like it was the first kind of fun song in a while.
Sure.
So it kind of stops it from going to a lull of just like, okay, sad song, sad song, sad song. But yeah, it's very basic, and I mean, I liked it.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not bad. Like, I even said it's pretty fun, and I can see why it's got a lot of plays. Just
And then up next is Cold Fire, and I feel like this comes out of nowhere. I really like this one.
Yeah.
And again, I say it all the time, but it shows the control of her vocals to be like slow to this almost yelling in the chorus, and I don't know, it just really hits, and I liked the lyrics. It's still love focused, but it has a bit more dynamics in it.
yeah, I really like the lyrics. I like we're right around 3 minutes, and everything kind of picks up for the last minute or so. I thought that was really great. It also ends kind of abruptly. But that's fine because I was getting kind of bored near the end of it.
Ooh.
It was good,
It's
but
4.5
it's just
minutes.
is it? It's a longer track. Yeah, it just kind of drags on,
Longer
but then it ends
track.
abruptly. I know it's not even that long.
4.5 minutes.
I know.
I've nuked food longer than that.
Don't stop.
Heat it up in a pan.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I don't like Dead Flowers though.
It's not a bad song. It's just not for me.
I like the Rolling Stones song "Dead Flowers." I do
yeah?
not like this version.
Wow, she's got 2 songs
No.
that she took titles from.
Yeah, Dead Flowers. I'm sure there's other people.
I know.
who
I
can-
don't care.
yeah.
It's not a big deal.
It didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, you know what? I put that 2 Beers In is probably my least favorite. It's probably this one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's not a bad song. It's just not for me. With the dreamy guitar, the song probably kills live, but I don't remember hearing it played live when I saw her last, unless it really is just that forgettable to me.
It's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
I think this is the only song where everything is attributed to Alexa. So like the
Okay.
lyrics and all the instrumentation is all
Yeah.
by her.
Interesting.
Versus the other ones, I think she did the lyrics for everything, but other people did the
Right.
instrumentation and everything. So
I do like the quiet humming that's in the last third. I thought that was nicely placed, but yeah, otherwise it's kind of a boring track.
Yeah.
And then it ends with "Put It Away."
Oh, that's what it is? Yeah, it does. Yeah, put it away. So you're done. You put away the record.
Yeah, it is a good ending song for that reason. It's just like, there you go. It is very catchy, very poppy, but I like the cynical kind of getting over it lyrics. So it kind of balances out the like a little bit. I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of like really poppy music, but it seems to balance out. This is also the longest song on the album, but it doesn't really feel like it to me.
Yeah, I thought it was a weird departure from the last couple of songs and a weird final track. I actually think it should have been like the opener, to be honest, with how like bright it is. I really like it the most, like out of the second side, I suppose.
It did feel out of place.
Yeah, I was surprised it didn't have more plays though, to be honest. I actually really liked Put It Away.
Yeah, this is the least played on the album.
Yeah.
Or second
I
least.
think it has to do with the fact that it is the last song.
Last
on the
song,
album.
yeah, 'cause,
Most
like,
people don't stick around.
I really like the backup vocals in the second half. Like
Yeah, the
this-
extended chorus at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I was
really
like,
good.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is probably my second favorite after Fear, like hands down. So yeah, I was really surprised when it wasn't super popular. I think it's a good like end to the album, hard like solid end. But yeah, I thought it felt a little out of place. But other than that,
I like a faster ending to the album. I feel like that's kind of usually my bigger complaints, that it's like, okay, you ended with a slow and usually kind of weaker song on a lot of the albums we've listened to. Versus this one, I'm like, oh, okay, you're grabbing my attention again, and then it's the end of the album. I'm like, oh, you've kind of made it, given an impression, versus just like the album has ended.
And it kind of leaves you wanting more a little bit. Yeah.
Plus, she doesn't end with fade outs. She ends a lot with
Yes.
echoes. It's like,
yeah.
I guess it's better.
But I'm okay with it. It doesn't.
Yeah.
They're short. They're not like long, so it's fine. Yeah, it didn't bug me at all.
Yeah,
I
what are
think, I
y'all's,
think one of the songs had a hard cut too. Like it just
Yeah,
ended.
I think that's what I wrote for one of them, was that it really ends super abruptly.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one I wrote that for, but yeah, it just kind of chops.
Yeah, just chopped off. Yeah. Anyway,
what are your overall thoughts, Jamie?
I liked it. It's one of those albums like I would put on. Like if I knew you were coming over and like I wanted to be like, hey, this is that album you played for me once. I also have a copy of it. I would put it on. But I don't think it's mostly not for me. I'm not really into the Adele or the Amy Winehouse type singing.
That's my problem too.
She does have a very powerful voice, and I can really appreciate that because she can really belt it out. But like most of the album is not for me. It's not something I would normally seek out, and that's sort of why I appreciate when you bring something like that. Because it's something I would never pick this album up for myself. If I was to give it a vinyl verdict.
Oh, wait. I forgot to talk about the album
Oh
itself.
my
I'm
god!
sorry.
This could sway everything.
Wow.
My
This
God.
could sway everything because there's many things to say about this. So for about the record itself, I'll talk about the album cover.
What a cliffhanger!
It's yeah, I know. Right? You can't click off yet. You don't know what Jamie's going to say. So the front of the record, it's a picture of Begonia that's almost like watercolor-like,
Yeah,
but
it's
it is a
cool.
photo.
She's all makeup or something.
Yeah, so she's got a ton of
She's
makeup
out of
on.
focus.
Nice nails, out of focus. It's like motion blurred out of focus,
Yeah.
though. Her nice name and handwriting and the word fear.
I just love saying Begonia.
Right? I really like the cover.
I'm out there picking begonias.
Sorry,
God,
please
it's a
continue.
No, duh, you can interrupt. I mean, I don't know the reference.
Begonias.
Begonia.
They're flowers.
Oh. Yeah, I know that because you Google it and it's like, no, not the flower.
No,
She hasn't
the
overpassed
musician.
flowers in population yet, or popularity yet. Yeah, I really like the cover. It's just very colorful. It kind of leads the eye with her face being at an angle. The back of it is the back of her head
Oh, cool.
with her fingers run through her
look at you
hair.
go.
And then all of the
got a
lyric
boa.
or the names of the songs in, again, I'm guessing her handwriting. The only thing I don't like is all the like stuff at the bottom. All like the
Oh, that's a
labels
lot
and
of-
the
yeah.
Canada and who
It's
printed
very-
this. It's all very large.
Yeah, it's very back of a movie box.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So like it is only taking up like a 20th of it, but it's still way more than anything else. I know
not
a lot
clean.
will like put like anything. I would have really liked if it was clean.
It was produced by the Canadian tax credit, I see.
You know what?
Our tax dollars went to this,
If that helps them make the records, I'm down.
right?
I think
Put the Canada stamp on the back.
yeah, it's like when you watch a
And it says "Made in
like,
Georgia." It's got the peach on it. You never seen that?
Yeah, Georgia Peach.
like that. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
The sleeve itself is like a bed sheet, but it's very rose colored. It looks very flowery, and it has all the lyrics to all the songs on it.
That's nice.
But this is where things fall apart.
Uh-oh.
So this is my second Begonia Fear album, because the first one I got from her concert when I saw Shaky Graves, and it was Too Warped to Play.
Wow.
And it was half volume. And I was like, that's odd.
Oh.
So the person I was dating at the time messaged Begonia, was like, hey, can I get another one? It plays at half volume, is warped. And she was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. Message my manager, I'll get you another one.
Crazy.
So I got another one mailed to me. Very nice. The record itself is 130 gram, but it still plays at half volume.
Yeah, it's quiet. We
It
tried it
is
earlier.
way quieter than any other record
yeah.
I own,
Do you
which is what happened when we went to Jamie's house.
Do you remember what Dan said? Because Dan was there.
Because it was mastered digitally.
Yeah, it was mastered digitally.
So it does not sound any better on vinyl. And because of however they had it set up, it is way
Just
quiet.
quiet.
So Dan explained it this way: there's equalization you have to do to get it to sound right on a record player.
Sure.
So with the mastering process, and if they just take the digital master and transfer it to vinyl, it'll come out basically at line level,
Right.
which is wrong because you want it to be much louder than that, because it also has to amplify it
go
through the record
yeah,
player.
yeah.
So obviously they didn't do that, and that sucks. But the problem is that, and Dan explained it, there's very few people that know how to master for vinyl anymore.
Sure.
Or know how to do it properly. And from a smaller label like what
Like
she's
Canada.
on, yeah, the Canadian government apparently, like they probably didn't have a vinyl specific guy.
They probably just made it for like digital release. Maybe
Yeah.
CD,
Yeah, they were like, oh, let's
and
just
then-
make vinyl because everyone has vinyl,
Yeah,
which is
pump-
fair.
Yeah.
Everyone does that, but
Yeah.
it is disappointing.
It is very quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very unusually.
So it's jarring because I'll forget, and then I'll put another record, and
Right,
my
you
ears
gotta
will
crank
explode.
it.
yeah, because like we had to turn it up to like 35.
It was huge, and
My
this one
record-
is not quite as bad,
Yeah.
I think, but it is like a third to a half of
Yeah.
I think
the
it's
other.
about half.
Yeah, it is pretty bad.
We listened to it earlier. We put one album on,
Yeah.
listened to it for like 30 seconds, and then took it off. Didn't change the volume. Put this on, and it was definitely about half.
Yeah,
volume,
half as loud. Yeah.
Which is too bad, because the fact that it's not mastered for a record, or obviously even planned arrangement wise to be on a
Yeah.
record, I feel like the split makes sense. I was like, the fact that it stops at Mirror Talk and starts at 2 Beers In, I was like, this for me, I have an opposite thought of Plouffe. I thought the pacing was really good. Like, I don't think I would really change any of the songs, especially because like at the record flip, you're ending with a slower song, and the B-side starts with a bit of a higher pace song, and nothing really gives me whiplash if you're listening digitally or on vinyl. So I was like, man, I didn't think I was an organization snob until in Rainbows, I was like reorganizing the entire record in my head, and I was like, oh, clearly I do care and notice.
Yeah.
And this one, no, the whole album will go through, and I'm like, man, that was great, and I don't have any changes. Jamie, why don't you finish up with your vinyl verdict, then we'll go into Plouffe.
Yeah, what are you doing?
8 out of 13.
Damn, really?
Yeah,
That's not
that's
bad.
higher than I expected.
It's
it
a
to
good
be.
album. It's just not for me. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna poop on it because it's not for me.
Yeah.
Like,
You love pooping on stuff.
Yeah, right. Like
he'll tell
I'm a
you,
potty
yeah.
pooper. But like it was well produced for digital, not for vinyl. The songs are catchy. She is a powerful artist. Like I don't have anything bad to say about it. It's just not a record I would own because it's not the kind of music I enjoy listening to. But like objectively, I think it's a good album. It's just not my good album.
It's fair.
It's your good album.
Yeah.
It is. Plouffe, what is your vinyl verdict?
This one was really hard because like I said, I love Fear. I love Put It Away. I liked Beats, even though I thought it was kind of just a radio hit.
By Dre.
Overall, I'm only gonna give it like a 6, and that's only.
Oh, because you rate it at 10 though.
Yeah, that's close.
like a
That's
normal
almost
person, yeah.
that's almost the same score as you. And it's basically because I think it's good overall. Like she has a very good voice. She's very talented. I would just love to see her with like a full band. I think seeing her live would probably change my opinion as well, and then I'd really see the energy and I'd feel the emotion in her voice probably a bit better. But I don't know. I would never go buy it. That was my kind of problem. I had to sit down and think about it, and like, how much did you pay for it?
Oh,
Like,
right, yeah. I paid like $30.
yeah,
All in.
That's about right. That's what it's going for on
If I-
Discogs every day.
If I saw it like discounted secondhand or something, I'd maybe pick it up just because I know it and I really like those like few songs. But no, I'd probably never buy it. And if I did own a copy, I don't know how much I'd play it.
Yeah.
I'd put it on for like a track, and then I'd take it off.
Right.
As an album that is not really listenable on vinyl because of the way
'Cause how
it was
quiet it
recorded.
is.
Yeah, I don't know how valuable it is in a collection. I know
That's
you
fair.
have it, but
It'll probably be one of the ones on my record wall that doesn't.
yeah,
it doesn't
take
move.
off
Yeah.
because I'll listen to it digitally.
Totally.
it's just one of those.
It just I like the cover. I like the album.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Sorry, you were gonna say something.
I mean, I'll say my final verdict if you
Okay.
have any other thoughts. What can I say other than the fact that I think people should listen to this album? It's easily one of my favorites. And when I see that half the songs on this album are under 100,000 listens,
Yeah.
it blows my mind.
I was surprised, especially because Beats has like 1 million or something, right?
Yeah.
It's got a lot.
Yeah, and like Put It Away and Cold Fire, both around 70,000. It's like, how? It's insane to me. But this is her first full album. If this was 180 gram vinyl, it played a full volume or had anything special about it, this would probably be my number one spot.
Wow.
Maybe number two, because Swimming in Circles, like really just as a collection, is extraordinary, and that will probably stay there for me forever. But it is perfectly balanced to me. It turns pop music on its head, and it would probably be something that would take over anything else. But it does not play great, and doesn't sound any better than digital, and is just a black record in a cool album art.
Oh no, Belle, your house is on fire. Which album are you grabbing?
I'm grabbing 3 others because this is in the number 4 spot.
Boom.
Yeah, this is on the number 4 spot underneath EP 1 and 2 by Yeji, and
Okay.
above In Rainbows by Radiohead. If there was a little bit more effort into making this a great vinyl, it'd be something special. But you're probably better off just listening on Apple Music or whatever, because EP 1 and 2, even though EP 1 is not strong, the album itself is so cool, the packaging and everything. And obviously, I love Slide and I love Swimming in Circles. So she's got another album releasing in February of 2023, so I'm excited to see how that goes. I also noticed the vinyl is like colored in patterns, so maybe they put more effort into it and like have a mastered one.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Watch a video on how they make those weird swirly vinyls.
It's called How It's Made.
Yeah.
Oh, it's made so long.
But you know what we're gonna listen to next week?
Yeah, Jamie's pick. What
Jamie's
are you picking?
We're listening to "Workin'" with the Miles Davis Quintet.
Wow.
It's a
Remember,
jazz
listen to Miles
album.
Davis.
If peeing your pants is cool, consider
Me,
me
Miles
Miles Davis.
What is that from?
It's from
Derek comedy.
no, it's from an Adam Sandler movie. I think it's the one where he's a kid.
Big
Billy
Daddy?
Madison.
Billy Madison.
I'm pretty sure it's Billy Madison. Yeah. Anyway.
We're not peeing our pants this week, but next week we might be.
Yeah,
I'm
just
excited.
a little bit.
Yeah, I've never listened to Miles Davis. I listen to some jazz, but I just put on jazz playlists.
Yeah.
I'm excited to listen to.
I like jazz.
Jazz album.
I love jazz.
But I like very specific jazz, and we'll get into that
Do you
next
like
week.
jazz?
Do you like Jello pudding?
I love. Wow.
That's pudding pops. Let me tell you. Bye.
See ya.
Bye now.